Hello and welcome to the first Emerging Tech Talk for 2010. I'm your host, Dan York, coming at you today from Voxeo's corporate office in Orlando, Florida. If you could see out those windows behind me, you'd know that there is indeed downtown Orlando there. But I'm here at our office for next week and a bit. I'm going to IT Expo in Miami, Florida next week. So I'm here in this time, and I want to talk in this show a bit about what I'm looking to do with Emerging Tech Talk over the scope of 2010. And kind of get some feedback from you all, perhaps. I want to talk a bit about the technology and what I'm changing around to make this work a little bit better, I hope. And then I want to spend a little bit of time doing something a little different and talk about a book that just recently came out called Get Seen from Steve Garfield and how it can help you in the online creation of videos like this and video podcasting in general. So first, a bit about the show. You know, I've been doing this now for a good bit of time. And what I've tried to do is use this as a forum to talk about new technology and specifically new communication technology as it comes out. You know, I've done some screencasts, I've done some product reviews, some just talking about technology in general, some interviews from shows and things. I'm looking to do all of that in 2010. One of the major changes I'm looking to do, though, is to try to be a bit more consistent. I wasn't very consistent in 2009 as far as putting these shows out. There were some shows that I had a couple in a month, and then I went for maybe one a month, and then I skipped a month, and things like that. So I want to change that. I want to try to put it out consistently. I'd love to shoot for every week, but I don't think that's realistic, so I'm going to shoot for every other week. Probably aim for a Tuesday or a Thursday, just because Technology Tuesday, Technology Thursday, something like that. But that's the goal, is to try to get something on a more consistent basis and to work with it. As part of that, one of the things I'm doing is changing the technology back end a bit. And I mention this because I know people have been curious about how I do these shows. In the past, once I created the show, I uploaded it to YouTube, and then I separately uploaded it to our blog server. And then from there, it went out into a FeedBurner feed out to iTunes. And I primarily did that because you can't directly put a YouTube feed into iTunes and yada yada, different Flash video versus QuickTime and so on. So I did that, but it was a hassle. It was a hassle to create the different pieces and things. So this year, with this show, I'm trying out a service I've been using for a while in another context, but I'm going to try it out here for Voxeo, called Blip.tv. Now, with Blip, I upload the file once into their servers, and then it goes out from there to YouTube, to our blogs.voxeo/ETT feed, into Flickr, out to FeedBurner, into iTunes, into Facebook, a number of other different places. So, you know, this is the first show. I'm going to try it out and see how it works. I say this partly because if you got the show twice, I'm sorry. It's I'm not quite sure how all the pieces are going to work in these things. So let's give it a try and see how it's going on. I'd be curious to hear what you all would like. Those of you who watch the show for a while or who know me through my writings, either here at Voxeo's blog site or my Disruptive Telephony or Disruptive Conversations blog, or through my the weekly podcasts reports I do into For Immediate Release, the audio podcast on PR and communications. You know, what would you like me to talk about? You know, what's of interest to you? Would you like me to do more screencasts about Google Wave? Would you like me to talk about SIP and communication technologies, Skype, things like that? Would you like me to talk about more in detail about what Voxeo is doing and some of the pieces that are here? Do you want interviews? What would you like to hear? I'd love to hear your comments. If you can go to blogs.voxeo.com/ETT or dyork@voxeo.com to email me directly, I'd love to hear it. So let me know what you'd like to have us do. Of course, you could also respond on our Facebook page or Twitter, wherever you talk to us. Let us know. To that end, I want to just take a moment to talk about this book, because if you are looking at online video creation, whether it's a video podcast like this or just videos that you're putting up, Steve Garfield put out a good book. Now, in full disclosure for the FTC, I have not received any payment. Steve hasn't asked me anything. I bought this book with my own money from Amazon.com, and Steve doesn't know I'm doing this and nothing else. So anyway, the book is called Get Seen, Online Video Secrets to Building Your Business. And you can actually see it at stevegarfield.com/getseen. You can also go to amazon.com and just order the book. Steve's a great guy, and I mention this because he was very instrumental in me helping understand how to create video podcasts and online video. Back in 2007, in April 2007, I went to an event called Podcast Academy 2 up in Boston, at the Boston University, at their center there. I live up in Keene, New Hampshire, up in the Boston area. And a whole group of us from the podcasting, blogging world were there. Steve was there, obviously. Chris Brogan, Christopher Penn, CC Chapman. A whole bunch of us who are from the Boston area and who work with us were there, and we're learning from each other and things like that. The powerful part of what Steve did was he completely demystified how you could create video podcasts. Because I'd been blogging since 2000. I'd been contributing to an audio podcast since early in 2005. But I'd always been sort of intimidated by video. I thought it was too hard, too expensive, too complicated. Obviously this being my 41st show in this video podcast, I'm no longer in that space. But at the time I was. And what Steve did that was powerful was at the beginning of his presentation, he basically took out a little Canon point-and-shoot camera, and he pointed it at us. He took a little bit of video. He put his arm out. He pointed at himself and said, "Hi, I'm Steve Garfield," etc. And he pointed us back at us in the audience and recorded it. And then he showed us how he copied that from the camera, put it up onto his computer, and then posted it up into his blog site, I think was where he put it then. But the point was, it was trivial to do. Now it's gotten even easier today, right? You've got flip cameras that let you just go and create the video and upload it through USB. You've got your trusty iPhones and other devices that let you go and do it. You've got online services like Ustream or Kite or some of those that are quick, that let you go and stream from your phone or from other devices. But that's kind of what Steve talks about in this book. It's a great book that goes into sort of what do you need to think about, what do you need to look at, what's the technology you need, what are the editing tools. One of the reasons why I have great respect for this book is actually a theme that Steve returns to time after time, which, if you can read that right there, it says simply, "The secret to online video is to create great content." So often people say, "I need a video podcast, I got to go do it, let's grab the cameras and go." But they don't think about what story are they trying to tell. What are they trying to do? Are they there to teach? Are they there to educate? Are they there to persuade? What are they trying to do? And, kudos to Steve for making that a theme throughout here. You got to have a story. You got to have something you're trying to do with your video, with your podcast, with whatever you're trying to do. But it's a great book. Again, it's called Get Seen. And Steve talks you through how to use the cameras, how to record from things like Skype, how to go in and do editing using tools, simple tools like iMovie, which is what I use here for this, or Windows Movie Maker, how to distribute it, how to set up your own channels in various different ways, how to submit your video to the iTunes movie store, how to go and work with all of that. Lots of good points. If you can look at the edge of that, you can see I made a whole bunch of dog ears on the various different pages, because I got lots of notes that I took, even as I've been working with this now for a couple of years. Lots of good insight from Steve about certain ways that you can improve it and make your video even better. So it's a great book, again. Get Seen, Online Video Secrets to Building Your Business by Steve Garfield of stevegarfield.com. I'd encourage you to go check it out and get online, get creating video. It's a cool thing. I'm excited by the proliferation of video mechanisms and the way that this is working, and it's all a good thing. So that's all for now. I'm Dan York. You can comment again at blogs.voxeo.com/ETT or send me email directly to dyork@voxeo.com. And until the next show that I hope to be producing regularly, we'll see you there. And if you're at IT Expo next week in Miami, do feel free to drop me a note. Let me know that you're going to be there, and I will be around. So that's all. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to a very exciting 2010. Lots of good stuff coming up. Bye for now.